Hey, everybody, and welcome to Unedited. I'm your host, Patrick, and as always, I'm here joined by Alex. Well, I'd like to start off by saying, you know how a lot of your favorite YouTubers and podcasters and anything of the such, well, they'll go on a little break. They'll take a little break. They'll take a little breather. They'll come back better, invigorated, energized. Well, Alex and I, we took about 11 days off, just shy of 2 weeks, and we are worse. So, undoubtedly.
Well, yeah, because like two weeks ago I had something happen to me and it kind of messed me up and I'm still kind of reeling from it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny thing that just happened actually. We started the broadcast, and then basically I think the first thing and the only thing recorded was me going, "Oh shit," and then it dropped. Like I wish I wish I could save that. That would be funny.
Off to a great start. I love it.
I know. I was already a little bit um, against doing this. I've been putting it off, like cleaning my room, as a teenager.
And it's
You're just like
it's
that
it's
pile.
funny it's funny because usually I'm the one putting it off because I'm just like, well, I don't know. And like thanks to this event that happened to me 2 weeks ago, I'm just like, well, I need to do something, so let's get this show on the road, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I get where you're coming from. I'm struggling right now. Like I don't understand how to explain it. Like I've dealt with depression, but this feels like being dead a little bit. Your body's just heavy. You're tired, and everything is irritating. I'm in a constant state of irritation. And I guess I have to assume it's something wrong with me. Um, but it's it's not to the extreme where I would hurt people necessarily, but I definitely feel a twisting almost as far as like just everything is just wrenching. And so I've been withdrawing a little bit from people and places. Uh, it could just be the time of year. I discussed that in the last episode, that we were heading into a pretty difficult month. So, I mean, here's hoping it gets better, right?
Well, the one thing that I've experienced over the last 2 weeks is extreme lack of sleep and an extreme lack of hunger. I've had to force myself to eat over the last 2 weeks, and I tell you, like when you're not hungry, it's hard to force yourself to eat a sandwich or something.
A sandwich.
Sandwich, because like I just, with like, when you're dealing with like a heavy emotional thing, your body reacts to it. It mental mental issues really do affect the body in a weird kind of way.
You know what's funny to me is it sounds like we're having almost like an interview after the first bombs dropped. Like like a post-apocalyptic interview. It's like, yeah, well, I couldn't eat for the first week, and I just I'm heavy all the time. The dust clouds are still in the sky, it blocks out the sun. It really sucks. So I spend a lot of time sleeping, and I don't sleep. It's one or the other, and I can't eat because I'm not hungry. And I don't know. It just sounds like we're doing an interview after the first bombs dropped. After I heard you going through your stuff, I thought about what I'd said too, and I'm like, wow. It's like you would think we were describing, refugees after a big event.
Well,
Uh,
it's funny how you say the first bomb drop because, well, I'll let everyone know I went through a breakup a couple weeks ago, and without going into details, Patrick, um, yeah, I
my social security number is one five.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I took it very hard, and I'm still like I'm better than I was a week ago, but it's the first it was my first relationship, no matter how weird it was, and yeah, as uh, it, we're forcing ourselves to do this for you guys, the few people who actually listen to this. If you're 5 minutes into this, you've never heard us before, um, stick around because from this point on, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Um,
Is it really? I mean, because I
I
thought
think
this was like the best part of it.
I I think it's gonna get better because I want to let everyone know my plans in the next few months, and it kind of coincides with what you kind of want to do. But what I want to do is in October, I want to plan a trip to Vegas because I have never I have never planned a trip out of state as drastic as that before, and I kind of just want to do it and give it a shot. You know, but like, there's no real intention. I don't really plan on gambling. It's mostly just to go to Vegas, eat, walk around, look, yeah, maybe gamble a little bit. You know,
Of course.
and depending on if I meet my good friend Patrick here, maybe drink a little bit. But I don't plan on getting blackout drunk in another state. I've seen Hangover. I don't want that to happen
Oh,
again.
it's a beautiful experience. Oh, it's such a you have to at least hit the pillars when you're in Vegas. And by pillars, I mean drinking, gambling, um, just a casual encounter with a stranger that you meet at the bar because you get, unlimited free drinks if you pay a flat fee. I think it was $20 for like the basic edition when I was there, and then 25 for premium liquors, which at the time I had less understanding about than I do now because I sell liquor. That's a pretty good deal. Um, uh, I had something on the mind. Speaking of our 2 week stint into depression, I feel like we basically strapped ourselves in and we just jumped down into this deep dark pit. And what I can report back to you from the pit currently is video games. They become a thing.
Yeah,
Because I mean it's a way of getting interaction with uh, it's not like there's not people willing to interact with me. It's just I'm not in a state of mind where I can do that in the most conventional way because it's I want to say it's not anybody's fault. It's just how it is right now. And
right.
I guess what I wanted to pose to you, Alex, is I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to actually uh, I'm going to Google the question of is it a good or a bad thing when adults play video games?
I think it's
That's what I'm gonna.
I think it's a perfectly fine thing. It's in
Well,
it is a form of art. Like, I know some people are no, it's just a video game. There are some games out there that really do make you think and you know get the brain stems kind of sparking. Like, I don't know if this is a good example or not, but for the last 2 weeks, uh, I bought a PS4 and I've been playing God of War, and you know, this is, just kind of entering a new world and just kind of embracing it. Especially when you're dealing with depression or something. I know it's not coincided with the question really, but like, it definitely helped me take my mind off of reality, albeit for a couple hours a day. You know, and even
yeah,
people need to realize that even if it's like for 5 minutes, taking your mind off something that's you know dark or depressing or whatever, it can do a wonder. It can do wonders. Because like a couple nights ago, I actually slept, and and
Yeah.
it felt good. You can say it was because I was staring at a TV for 8 hours straight. But you know, it still helped. You know, I took my mind off of that bitch. I mean that woman, and you know, it really helped me. You know, like
Well,
to circle back around and finish my statement. I think video games can be healthy if you know you approach it healthily and don't do it too much.
yeah, I was just gonna say simply that what brought the question to my mind was a post on Facebook, and I know those are always highly credible, right? Um, it was just a meme that said something like, girl, if he's a grown man and he plays video games or something like that, drop him quick, or something of that nature, right? Because
Right.
that's not a man, that's a kid, right?
Right.
And it's like, have you seen some of these games? A kid wouldn't play these games, or at least they shouldn't be playing these games. They're not made for kids.
Right.
But so, and I think that maybe is. I immediately saw that and I was like, uh, what do you know? You sound like you're looking to be rude to somebody that put something before you in a way, you know?
Well, it's I view video games the same way
It's free.
I view video games the same way I view music and movies and concerts and stuff, you know. It's not all I mean, music will always be there and movies if preserved well enough will always be there. But you know, the video game industry is it's so evolving that you know brand new video games that came out video games that came out in like 95, 90, you know, they're already like obsolete and you know, they're not standing the test of time. So it's going to be harder it like Pong, you know,
That
no one's going to remember Pong the same way they remember Beethoven, anything like that.
well, yeah, they will, and they do actually. Do you know how much a Pong console goes for? Like the original tabletop version?
No, how much?
Like could be like I'm gonna say in the neighborhood of 300 to 2 grand. Oh, hey guys, I just got a match on OK Cupid. If you're curious, um, not that that's a good thing. What point is, guys?
Is it from the creator of Pong?
No. I believe honestly, if you look on eBay or something of the like, a lot of people will flock to that stuff purely based on the nostalgia associated with it, or they're hipsters. It's a fine line. But I personally I bought older games just because I remember playing them and what kind of feeling it brought out in me. So that's why I got them.
I tell you the first game that really like enveloped me and brought me into the world of that world was Metal Gear. I I grew up, you know, playing on the PlayStation 1, like, you know, the Spider-Man and Crash Bandicoots and Spyros. And
Yeah, definitely.
you know, and those games are fun. Like, I'm not knocking those games at all, but the first time, you know, my brother brought home Metal Gear, you know, and it's talking about nuclear disarmament, you know, deterrence, politics, and you know, espionage. It was really, as a kid, I was probably 9, I think 8 or I don't know when that game came out, but just watching that my brother play that, and then eventually me playing that, I was just what is going on? I need to keep playing and figure this out. and I'm hearing all these big words. I have no idea what they mean. I'm
Oh yeah, most
shoot,
definitely.
shooting people with guns. That was the first
Oh,
time I ever played a game where it's like murder was like the goal, kind of. I mean, it wasn't, but it was.
um, yeah. If we're talking about like first games that we remember, um, I don't know why I'm so much older than I am. I don't know why, but my dad had a like a Nintendo 64, and we would play like GoldenEye, um, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, and like Street Fighter, Street Fighter. But I think that was on like the Sega Genesis. Those were like the very first games I remember playing, like split screen with my brothers and my dad. Um, and like whoever got the golden gun, everybody would just start glaring at them because they're like, "Oh yeah, that's how you're gonna play? You're gonna go get the golden gun and just kill everybody with one shot." But yeah, you could play as what was the name of that guy in the top hat? I don't know. He's still Austin Powers made fun of him, but he was like an Asian man with a top hat. He was a prop.
I know who you're talking about. I can't say his name right now. I can't think of it.
He was a prominent Bond character or villain. Um, but and then I remember actually having like this James Bond game on the PlayStation 1, which I mean was even better because obviously the graphics got better. And I remember Spider-Man 2, like you went up against the Green Goblin, and Grand Theft Auto was another one that I would go to a friend's house to play because my parents didn't have it. Um, I mean, I think I learned just about as much from video games that I did from like watching TV and movies when I was younger. I know it's kind of like the Cable Guy phenomenon. If you've never seen the Cable Guy, it's a movie with Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick, and yeah. Anyways, someone's got to kill the babysitter. Yeah, that movie. Um, it's kind of like that phenomenon. I mean, I think that's honestly, I attribute that to how my vocabulary has developed over the years. I was saying things when I was younger, and even now that people don't understand how I even know. And I'm like, well, it's stuck. I don't know why, but it's stuck. It's just rolling around up there. Would you like to hear some of the internet people's responses?
Yeah, pull them up.
Okay. I think they're pretty accepting of video games. Most people. Like, okay. This one person said something interesting, and I was kind of It's interesting. It was an interesting perspective. Let's put it that way. He said, depends really. Overall, I'd say that right now it's similar to alcohol. Something most people don't really judge too badly, but more conservative people. So if you're a dick, then you're going to judge people for drinking. You'll judge people for their hobbies, you know. Because I've heard people say that though, like, oh my God, grow up. It's like, but I mean, this doesn't give me a hangover. I just just, just play as a character that, yeah, I lose 4 hours of my life. You know, it's not that big a deal. Like, uh, but yeah, this person just seems to think it's one of those things that they frown upon, like conservatives frown upon, and most people don't judge.
Yeah,
This one's
because
kind of cool.
go on.
Well, I was gonna say this one's kind of cool. It's got a picture of Tyrone Biggums from Dave or the Chappelle Show, and
Yeah.
the profile picture says, "Y'all got any more of them video games?" Anyways, uh, it says, "Yes, in the older generation, they will die off one day, and gamers shall rule the lands." Okay, yeah, but you were gonna say, Alex? Sorry.
Well, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. But I think it's, when when I was living in St. John's, Michigan, I I was really, Xbox Live had just come out with Halo 2, and I was glued to it. Like, I think I actually, like, somehow, for whatever reason, I actually dropped out of middle school at that point, and like it was just 24/7 playing that game, and I had a blast. But once the internet cut out, it
Yeah.
it was like that one meme, like when the internet's down and you have to go outside, and it just shows that like dark skeleton figure, just like, oh, it was a lot like that. And I am glad I snapped out of it, but I don't have any like negative things to say about it other than the feeling of being a sloth or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lack of real motivation, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like all your free time, you're like, oh, dude, if I could play this game right now, I so would. You know. Um, I think the first game that I really binged on though, that lasted for like a long time, was Fallout 3. And I know you said you can't get into it. I understand now, but back then it was like an escape from my current circumstances. And it wasn't even my Xbox. It was like one of my older sister's friends had brought it over, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you can play it." Which, nice guy, but I played that console for like 3 days straight. Almost no exaggeration there, like 3 days straight. Um, I passed out in a Walmart parking lot for like 30 to 40 minutes, just because like I got done playing and like my legs were wobbly. You know how that happens, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta eat something. I was a bad kid. I was skipping school at the time, like for like 6 months or something. I hadn't been to school for that long, but because I told them I was moving, they just assumed I went to another state, and they never sent the truant officer at me after me. Um, Safe to say I've been a smooth talker my entire life. The fact is, I was playing this game day in, day out. I was like, holy shit, I gotta eat something too. There's nothing in the house, so I swiped the EBT card or the food stamps card,
Yeah.
which there's nothing wrong with that, folks. Let's be honest. If you're poor and you're a kid and you don't have a job, I'm glad that they still do that for some people that need it. But I swiped that and I went to Walmart, and before I even got inside, I fell down and landed on the concrete. And then all I remember is waking up and going, ugh, looking at the time and going, holy shit, 30 minutes? Like, and nobody came over here to see if I was okay? What kind of place is this? But then I got up and I went into the store and got my shit back to the house. And what happened after that, I don't remember because obviously I was sleep deprived. I could have continued playing for all I know. But yeah, it was good times. Still, nothing negative about that. Just, I mean, I think if you overdo anything, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
In regards though to the Halo thing, my older brother had a regular Xbox. My older brother, insert name here, and he left it with my older sister. My older sister and I think that's grammatically correct. And we played that for like a solid 15 hours. Like we beat the campaign, and then we moved on to Halo 2. And by the end of it, I was seeing shit, man.
Yeah.
Like those little stubby guys that run around and like blow up and stuff. Those guys. I was seeing those things. Like I saw one in my closet. I saw one like when I sat up in bed. Like I don't know what it was. It was just burned on my retinas, I think. um, if that's a thing. So I don't know how monotone I sound right now, but it's a struggle. uh,
Well, I do. I don't know. I'm clearly gonna keep bringing this back to depression because like I usually play video games to, you know, escape. And
mm,
yeah, and it's the same thing for music, but what's sad for me right now is I'm at a point where music isn't doing much for me, which is kind of scaring me because it always has helped me. And
mm,
there's one song that I've listened to probably 3 times a day since this breakup, and it's Dogs by Pink Floyd. It's 16 minutes long, and it's basically about uh, at existentialism, wondering, your place and all that stuff.
yeah.
And the lyrics are like, got to admit I'm a little bit confused. Sometimes it seems to me I'm just being used, you know.
Yeah.
Like the lyrics, like oddly, like 80% of those lyrics like speak to me really deeply right now. And that's not really a good thing. Because
Yeah.
if you look up the rest of those lyrics, you'll go, dude, you okay? But
You you know what you should listen to if you want a long song? In high tides forever. You know that song? Never heard that?
I do not know that song.
It was
No.
it was a big one. It was a big one on Rock Band. But you know what? You'd like it. It's very Flower Child-esque. I can't remember who it's by now, but yeah, it's like a really long song. Um, Green grass and high tides forever. The earth is stretched out before me, or something like that. I can't remember the lyrics. Although it's super
Oh,
long, dude.
it sounds familiar. It sounds familiar, but I probably hate it.
I probably hate it.
You said Flower Child or whatever, and like you lost me.
It's good though. It's a good song. It's a classic. I'll tell you what. Since you mentioned your depression, uh, frickin' playlist, you, uh, I'll mention mine. Um, basically, anything by a one Mr. Eddie Vedder has been my go-to. Like I can plug my headphones in, and just play back, get something to support my neck, and then you know just sit there and be like, you know,
Society, where
you're
are
crazy,
we?
you're a crazy breed. Hope you're not lonely without me. Society. That's a good song. I don't care what you say, Alex. I don't care.
I just I just realized a huge bit of irony or foreshadowing, like just now that I feel like I need to say it, and
What's up?
don't acknowledge why it's foreshadowy or whatever. But
Oh God.
one of the last things that me and my my ex-girlfriend did was, we did karaoke at this one place.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the songs I sang,
Yeah.
uh no you don't. Um it was a Pearl Jam's Black.
Did I thought you put that on Facebook?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
I put up a Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But
Which
like,
again, I thought was applicable to your situation.
well, yes, but when when you said that, I just thought, talking about Eddie Vedder, I just realized, I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be in somebody else's sky, but why? Why can't it be mine? I'm just like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. But I hope I
But,
don't
well,
get copyrighted for singing that so well.
oh, is that right? All right, that was a solid joke, man. Every one of you laugh. Every one of you laugh right now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you in the studio audience, stop acting like you're bound and gagged. All right.
Quit
We're
picking
tired
your
of it.
noses.
Yeah, we're tired of it. Okay. Um, but no, I mean, like, I actually have a recommendation, if you will. I recommend that all of you listening right now, and I don't know if you're going to listen to this at a later date, when the movie's been taken off of Netflix, but track down a movie called Into the Wild. It's a pretty fantastic movie. It's one of those movies where you're like, huh, and it makes you really think about your life. It's a thinker. Furthermore, there's also a book with real journal entries from the guy that the movie is based off of. And Eddie Vedder does the soundtrack for that movie. And it's about this guy who's kind of got a case of wanderlust. He was tired of what, society or what they expected him to be, so he just took off. And just everything about the music, man, it's beautiful. It just illustrates the disconnect from society and the connection with nature. It's I think outside of the song Society, which is like, I guess, really on the nose, Long Nights is also really good. I think it's called No Ceiling. Long Nights is kind of like, fuck if I can remember the lyrics. I can't. But just the way he's like, when I'm alone, I'm better off, kind of thing. It's got that kind of feel to it. When Anyways, you know what? You guys have technology. You listen to it. I'm not gonna sit here and sing it for you. Alex, do you have anything else on your mind, or?
Well, I'm thinking about Vegas right now, and
I think about Vegas every single day. You're not special.
Okay then. Wow.
I'm kidding.
Everybody, leave a comment saying how not special I am, and
No,
how much more special Patrick is, because he thinks about it every day.
It was a joke, but yeah, I do think about it every day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Missy Elliott.
Well, I'm thinking what to do in Las Vegas, because I was looking up shows that might come up during the week I want to go, and I'm excited. It's not even like I haven't booked a ticket yet or anything. I'm still trying to figure out my finances before I even put the credit card down on it. But yeah, just the prospect of like, I really could do this if I just plan it ahead a little bit. I couldn't leave tomorrow because money. I mean, I could. I could royally fuck my credit card, but yeah, I definitely am thinking about it and want to do it. I just got to figure out what exactly I want to do in Vegas.
It's a beautiful place overall. I mean, you wouldn't want to get lost in the desert or anything, but Vegas itself, man, everywhere. It's the energy. It's like, I know that there are people down in their luck in Vegas, but just the whole vibe is like, nobody's there to hurt you. I mean, there might be people there to con you, but there's nobody there to hurt you. They're all there to have a good time. It's just such a great energy about that place. I mean, I never planned on going to Vegas. I planned on going to California, but when you take a pit stop in Vegas, you never get out usually. If you want to go to California, don't stop in Vegas. That's the point I'm trying to make. Um, yeah, and if Vegas had been the goal, I would have made it without a doubt. But it was at the time I still had California on the mind. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great place, dude. There's this if you should drink when you're there, totally, because if you don't like gambling, Vegas isn't the really the place for you necessarily.
Well,
Because
it's not that I don't like gambling. It's just I like having my money, and
yeah,
you know, especially since like at least the trip, the round trip ticket and hotel is going to be at least 500 to $600 right there. And
yeah.
I'm going to put that on my credit card, and I'm going to try to save up at least $1,000 so I can, splurge a little bit. I do plan on gambling a little bit, but nothing extreme. Like you're probably going to call me a pussy, but I'm going to be doing the slots and stuff.
I had about $40 when I went there
40
to
bucks.
gamble with. Yeah,
That's
and
that's a whole lot of
yeah,
nut.
I mean it's not that great, but I only had $500 to cross the entire country. So so by the time I got to Vegas, I had like 280, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw $40 down because that's something I wanted to do. Um, and it turned into so much more. It turned into so much more. I cleared 2,500 bucks with this friend of ours. Um, and if it wasn't for the combination of both of our winning, I mean, we probably would have been boned. I mean, between the two of us, we had over 2,500, and we only started with very minimal amount, which is the beautiful part. It's like Vegas can make you one night and break you the next. It's true. It's like a true thing. But yeah, they have this Ferris wheel with um, basically dining tables in the middle of them. These spheres are about the size of like a regular car, and what you do is you pay 20 to $30, and you can drink all you want during the trip up and around, and it goes for about half an hour to an hour, 45 minutes, I believe. And yeah, I never got to do that, but it was right outside my hotel window, so it looked pretty awesome. Yeah. Like, if I could get a job out there, right on the strip, I feel like I would have it made. Like, I think my life would be okay overall.
I I don't know what it'd be like to work on the strip. I feel like that would be high traffic and constant stress. I mean, you
I
could
bet.
probably handle it.
Well, the tips, dude, they'd probably be amazing if you did something that offered tips. Like if you were a dealer in Vegas, dude, hundreds of dollars a night, if not more. Think about it. Like you get a guy that wins like $500, which isn't uncommon at like a blackjack table or a craps table, and he's like, "Here you go for the dealer," and he throws you a $25 chip. You get that
Right.
stuff at the end of the night. Like you split that with all the other dealers, but you could clear hundreds of dollars, dude. Because you get some guy on a heater and he's just like, "Fuck it, I don't care," He's just throwing money at everybody. Um, uh, but yeah, I think if I could get a job that had room and board as well as something right on the strip, that'd be pretty awesome.
What would you want to do down there?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind being like a dealer, like a card dealer. However, if you do that, you can't play there. You're not allowed to play in that casino or something.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like that would kill part of the experience for me. I mean, I've got customer service experience now, so I feel like I could do pretty much anything I put my mind to in that regard. But how about you guys? You ever been to Vegas? Do you think you'd ever like to go to Vegas? Just out of curiosity, in the comments below, tell us about your wild Vegas experience or your wild Vegas dream. I'd be curious about that. Or honestly, your video games. Like, do you have any iconic video games that you go to that you put on the back burner for a while but always return to? Do you have any of those? Do you have any games that made your childhood worthwhile? Put it in the comments, man. Or lady, or gender fluid individual, or man or lady.
My question for the fans is, what vacation spot would you visit to that is, because I'm trying to get away for a little bit. What would be a good place to get away? Like, Vegas seems, I don't know, to some people that might seem extreme. I told a couple people that, and they're like, "Oh, really? Vegas? Wow!" And I'm like, "Well, it's just Vegas." And they're like, "Oh, Vegas is a big deal, though." And I'm like, "It really isn't."
I mean, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Oh,
It so is. it. I mean, it's literally on the other side of the country.
well,
That's a big deal.
yeah,
'Cause
but
I mean,
where
I know
where
you've got
where else would anyone go that would be a good like escape for a little bit? Like my first thought is like maybe Nashville, Tennessee, but that's more of a country kind of thing, and that I would be out of my element there because I don't really care too much for country.
I mean, you'd probably like New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of bluesy, right? Like, I mean, they have a lot of blues and musicians out there.
Well, there's a whole genre of music, New Orleans sludge. I just saw these two bands the other day called Corrosion of Conformity and I Hate God, and they're both centered out of New Orleans.
Oh, well, I mean,
That
does
was
your
the most uninterested. Ah,
well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't really think anything called New Orleans sludge is going to be of quality. That's just my opinion.
oh,
My
it's good. Anyone here who wants a good rockin' tune, check out what's the name of that? Corrosion of Conformity, Clean My Wounds. That basically sums it up, and it's a good, fun tune.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans might do it for you, because that's one of those places where music was born in some way. Frickin', I mean, when you think about it, Elvis came from Nashville, Tennessee, didn't he? No, he came from Norfolk, right? Or is that just a song?
No,
Norfolk, Virginia,
Graceland is in Nashville,
Vegas.
and then what?
I think Graceland is in Vegas.
It's not. It's in Nashville, Tennessee.
You know what? I am gonna check this.
All right.
And
You have fun checking.
Where is Graceland, computer? Tell me. Tell me, computer. Oh, I have to type? Okay, fine. Frickin' make me do all the work. All right. Oh, it's actually in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, Memphis. Sorry, I was off by a city.
Oh, that makes the other songs make sense. Walking in Memphis.
Well, one thing that is cool about Graceland and Memphis is you can stay at the Heartbreak Hotel, where he wrote the song Heartbreak Hotel, or where someone wrote the song Heartbreak Hotel. Because
Yeah.
Elvis never wrote most of his songs.
That's a pretty large allegation. Are you disrespecting the king? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, I'm stating a fact.
I think you're disrespecting the king. I don't like
King,
that.
the king's dead, baby. The king's dead.
He didn't die. He just went home. Okay. You got me. You got me all worked up now. I need Jesus for a moment. Hold on. Let me talk to Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus.
What's the name of that one guy? He was basically another Elvis, but not as popular. He had the song that was in Pulp Fiction, "Girl, dear, now, you'll be a woman soon. Girl, you'll be a woman." Neil Diamond.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think he was another Elvis? Because I don't believe that.
He, at least when I talked to my mom about it, she said that he kind of rivaled Elvis at a certain point because they both had a very powerful voices. I could be talking out my ass right here, but like that's what she said. Like,
Sweet Caroline.
yeah.
Ba, ba, ba.
He also did the "She got wet move." Yeah, but she got the wet move it. Cherry.
You know what? Unfortunately, like I can't think about Neil Diamond without thinking about Saving Silverman, that movie.
That is actually such a good movie. Why don't
Oh my God,
more
such a good
people
movie.
talk about that movie? If you've seen that movie, comment down below and talk about how good a movie it is.
We're coming to America. he goes, no, dude, I'm gay. Is there anything else I should know about you? If you pick up the nacho and it doesn't fall apart, it's one nacho. Just a couple for all you youngins out there listening to this that probably shouldn't be. That's just a couple of the funny things that were said in that movie. Oh my God! And then you've also got like the even evil, conniving kind of bitchy lady that's just like stone cold, and it just shows like true friendship can save someone from a ball buster. You know. Oh man, that was a movie. Now I'm reminiscing. I am not a slut. I was gonna be a nun 3 days ago. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. Yeah, I mean, so what have we talked about? We talked about video games. We talked about depression. Talked about Vegas. Talked about, I guess, like music. I don't know. What would you say the takeaway from this episode is? Because I'm having a hard time pegging what we were actually supposed to talk about, and we're not talking about pegging, guys. Stop being fucking weirdos.
Why did you have to put that visual in my head?
There's a visual? I don't even have a visual. I just know it's gross.
No, I know what pegging is. So like the moment I hear the word pegging, I'm just like, oh God.
That's crazy because like I don't have a visual. I just like it's one of those things that I haven't seen because I've never researched it. I just know it has something to do with a woman doing something to a guy. That's all I know. I don't know if it's like heels or like I really don't know.
How's that water treating you?
Could you hear it?
I heard it very clearly.
Yeah.
It was like
That's awesome. I was just pouring it directly down my throat. I wasn't even. It's funny.
well, I think the takeaway from this episode is us just kind of, ranting and venting and kind of just speaking our minds. Like like I feel like if anyone's actually listening to this episode, it'll feel like they're actually having the conversation with us, because that's what these podcasts really are. They're just us at the end of the day just talking to each other and trying to, like, see if people enjoyed this conversation, this is kind of who we are on a good day. Or, this actually isn't a good day. I'm not even gonna lie.
This is a bad day. if honestly, actually, you know what? You probably wouldn't hear from us on a bad day, because like I would just ignore his text messages or whatever, or he would ignore mine, and he'd be like, "Okay, thanks, man, appreciate it, bye." This is us on a bad day. You should listen to episode 3, because I think that was us on a good day, and it was horrible. So, like all good artists, we draw from our pain, and that's where we are right now, in pain. And if you could call this art, I mean, kind of is, but also it's kind of just two guys talking.
If you guys wanna reach out to us, we do have a tweets and a Facebooks. Patrick, why don't you give them the links?
Dude, you know what's crazy?
What?
I was gonna say that.
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike.
I was gonna say we have the Twitter and the Facebooks. We should just spend saying those in weird ways. The FBs, the twits, the Snapchatty, the Instagrammy, the what was the other one? Shit. The YouTubes. I probably already said that. We have them all, and you're probably listening to us on one of these fancy things. I think the YouTube channel, we don't have a custom link yet, but when we get it, I will share it with you guys. I'm doing my best to update the Twitter, the Facebook, and Alex and I being more receptive and freaking talking to us, then we'll Snapchat you and Instagram you and stuff. So, and those ones, I mean, the majority of them are at contact unedited. That's the same from the Snapchat to the Instagram to the Twitter, and the Facebook is even contact unedited. So yeah, we made it pretty easy for you. The only thing you can't really find that easily is the YouTube channel, which you can get to through any one of those pages. Yeah. So add us. And I recently discovered that I can do live streams onto Twitch. Okay, yeah, that's funny. The irony of me saying Twitch is I started to like stutter. I was like, Twitch. Twitch. I almost had a mild bout of Tourette's there when I was saying Twitch. Yeah, I've learned to live stream on Twitch. I don't have a video feed yet, but you can listen to my reactions. I'm tonight even. I'm probably going to stream Layers of Fear, which is this survival horror game where you're basically going through this artist's house and you're trying to finish his masterpiece. But the game, dude, is just so freaky. Like, that's why I kind of wanted to stream it, is so like you guys can have your own little experience with it. But the last time I played it, my anxiety got so high, I was like, I'm going to turn this off, Because like dude, it's actually a decent horror game, which you don't get a lot of. Like Outlast 2. I mean, those games are kind of good survival horror, but they have a different feel to them. This one's actually like an old like Victorian style house, and it has a real horror be open that you definitely had closed, and there's like an AI that learns your movement. Like for instance, when I enter a room, I intentionally don't look at the focal point because I'm like, they're definitely going to expect me to look there, so I'm not going to. And I'll just like explore the room with my back to where I have this thing is going to be. And if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, my Twitch is Junior Aces 23. Like Junior, like hey Junior, but spelled out, and then Ace is like the card, and 23 like the number. Alex probably has a Twitch too, but I don't know if he's into live streaming yet. But he's a dirty, filthy PS4 player, guys.
I'm a PS4 brony. I grew up with it. A PlayStation in general. So yeah. Whatever.
I mean, honestly though, Xbox has surpassed PlayStation. I have to be real about that. Opinion. I mean, no, just overall. Like the graphics are genuinely better than PlayStation.
In your opinion?
Because PlayStation has to use like emulators, and they have to fake 4K.
Your opinion? No.
Anybody else have an opinion? Leave it down in the comment box below. So we can say, fuck that guy and his PS4, or however you prefer to say it. Actually, though, I will say that.
If I'm going to be honest, I honestly preferred like Nintendo and Sega, but those places kind of don't exist anymore. Like the original, like the N64 and like the Sega Genesis.
Didn't I just say that, dude? I said that earlier.
I think you did. I'm not sure. No, I meant the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, Dreamcast. Yeah, that was okay.
It was great.
It was great. But yeah, guys, if you follow me on Twitch or whatever, I mean, there's a chance that I'll stream my like I don't know Fortnite gameplay or my my survival horror gameplay because I'm getting into a couple older games that I enjoyed. Resident Evil 4. I want to stream that one. I want to live stream that one, just because like the nostalgia. The remastered Xbox One edition of the Resident Evil 4, and then what is it like? Dante's Inferno for Xbox 360. There's backwards compatibility, so I can play it on the Xbox One, and I'm pretty excited about that. How could you not be excited about killing the devil? Like how you're just like,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Playing God of War makes me want to revisit the old God of War games because, you fight, a lot of these Greek gods and stuff. And when you said kill the devil, I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously we don't know what the devil looks like or whatever, but like the video game adaptation of Dante Alighieri's stories is actually pretty good. Like you get the idea between the cantos, as they're called, and you actually do have to travel through hell to get. It's funny because like he goes into hell to rescue a soul, but to do that, I'm not giving anything away. He has to go deeper and deeper into hell to get out of hell. Like the only way out is through, which is wicked. Like I don't know. And you can decide to either bless people or like damn them.
Yeah.
It's sick, dude. If you ever get the chance to play it, I think it's on PlayStation 3, or it was on PlayStation 3. I don't know if they have backwards compatibility though. They probably do.
I've played Dante's Inferno. It's a great game,
dude. It's held its value so well that it's more expensive to get the Xbox 3 of Dante's Inferno. It's more expensive to get that game than it is to get Resident Evil 4, the remastered version for the Xbox One. Like, a game that was actually, made for the Xbox One is cheaper now than that one. Like, it's held its value incredibly well. But yeah, because it's like you said, the theatrics, the story, the immersion. It's really good. Hey guys, we made it to an hour. Like, good job. High five, guys. If you guys are dealing with depression, feel free to contact us. We're not therapists or anything. And chances are, I don't know if we'll be able to save your life or anything, but we will talk to you, So hit us up. Follow us on the social media. I've been Patrick.
And I have been Alex.
And technically we still are. But we've had a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
For how long can we stay ourselves, though?
That's a conversation for next week. No, okay. This has been episode 9.
Cliffhanger. Oh.
No, not really, though. We're probably not going to remember. Because we're only human. But this has been episode 9. Figurative high five to Alex for kind of for forcing this like an insistent prom date. Because me, I don't get like normal depressed. I get angry depressed. So it's different.
And with me right now, with the going through this breakup and stuff, right now I think I'm bouncing through these different waves of emotions. Like today I was actually more angry than I have been in the last 2 weeks. And yeah, so it's interesting. We're both on the same page.
Well, and you know how I said, like contact us if you want to talk about whatever's going on in your life. If you wanted us to function in that way too, where we bring up your issues on podcast and we discuss them, we will do that.
Anonymously, of course.
Anonymously, we're not going to give away your details unless you want them to be given away. But I want this to be a kind of community too, because otherwise, what's the point? Otherwise, it's just Alex and I talking, which we've done for many years. So it'd be cool to bring some other people into the fold, so to speak. But yeah, this has been episode 9, and as always, we appreciate you listening. We love you. Peace out.
Later.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.